Going on, all man? Thanks for tuning in. So Whyte versus Wallin is on, man. It's official. That's a great fight, man. That's a really good fight. Entertaining fight, man. That's a fight that I want to see. Thanks for tuning in, man. Thanks for your time. So the breakdown. It's an interesting fight. I mean, Southpaw against the Orthodox is always interesting. Yes, Whyte is called the body snatcher, man. He's a guy that sort of fights on the inside, but you got to remember Wallin also comes forward. But when Wallin comes forward, man, he's the sort of guy that tries to roughen you up, and then he'll box a few rounds, man, and roughen you up. That's the sort of fighter Wallin is, And let's not forget that cut against Fury, a fight that he should have won. A fight that he got robbed, I'd say, man. That's a robbery. That cut was probably in the top 5 worst cuts in history. And the ones that are in those lineups, man, of the worst cuts have been stopped, man. So, I mean, I don't know how Fury managed to go through the whole fight, man, when Wallin cut him that early. And this is something that Wallin does, That's what he does, man. He roughens you up when he comes forward, like I said at the start. Roughens you up, man, comes forward, and then he boxes you, and he knows how to box too, He's taken AJ of the distance, and the amateurs, So he also knows how to take a punch. Knows how to box, knows how to take a punch. Comes forward in the early stages, man. He's a real threat to anyone, He's definitely in the division, top fighters, one of the top fighters. And we're gonna see how this plays out, man. I think that Whyte is going to go in there and try to knock him out early. He's going to try to do what he did against Povetkin. He's going to try to clean him out early, man, and make a statement. It's a strategy to get towards Fury, to say, man, look what I've done to the guy that done to you, that sort of thing. People tend to overlook Wallin. Look at Brazil. Went in there, man, after getting cleaned out from Wilder, thinking, right, man, I'm going to fight against Wallin as a comeback. Wrong choice, man. You can't fight a guy like Wallin, man. He's talented, he's good. He knows how to box, he's a southpaw. The size doesn't really matter to him, like I said, he knows how to take a punch. Do I think Whyte can knock him out? Yes, of course, any heavyweight can knock out others. It just comes to, can you land the punch? But Wallin doesn't really have much power, Wallin doesn't really have much power. When I say any heavyweight can knock out another one, I'm talking about guys that can actually punch. That's what I'm talking about. Whyte can punch. Whyte can knock people out, man. With his left hook, with his right hook. He's got that weight. He's got that power, man. That's what he has. So that's what I'm meaning when I say that. But Wallin, I believe that he can win that fight if he cuts Whyte early or roughens him up early and just boxes him, tries to stay away from his best strategy, man, which is working in the pocket. That's why he's called a body snatcher. That's what he does, he likes to do that, fight inside the pocket. But if you take that away from him, or if he can even push him back, man, if he can push Whyte back with the jab, then he stands a good chance of beating Whyte. Look at the Whyte versus AJ fight. AJ was pushing Whyte back. Whyte never really had a response. He did hit him with a big hook. But that being said, man, he couldn't really manage with the pressure. And the kryptonite for him, man, is that the uppercut. Wally needs to remember that, man, to knock Whyte out, man, is the uppercut, man. He tends to fall for that one. The Povetkin fight, man, knocked him out with the uppercut. The AJ fight knocked him out with the uppercut, man. Those are the 2 times that Whyte lost, was with the uppercut. So Wally needs to remember that, man. Get him hard with the uppercut. If he has technique in his punch, he can knock him out. He's just got to land it clean. And then Whyte needs to just knock him out throughout from either round 1 to 12, man, anywhere in between the fight, man, whatever round it is, he needs to knock Wallin out. I believe Whyte needs to be careful in the early rounds Because that's when Wallin comes forward, man, a southpaw coming forward towards you, trying to roughen your face up, man, trying to box you, man. That's what he does. That's what he tends to do with people, man. He knows that he's getting underestimated, so he goes in there thinking, right, is this guy ready for this? You know, goes in there, tries to cut him, man, or tries to roughen him up, then he boxes him. So I believe Whyte needs to avoid Wallin for the first couple of rounds, and then maybe take him out after that. And Wallin just needs to not get caught, you know. He needs to be careful of those hooks, you know, either right or left hook. So I mean, it's not a one-sided fight at all, man, for me. I mean, this is the real test to see if Wallin belongs on the top. I believe that he does, man. I believe that he should have been the champion. I believe that Fury should give him an immediate rematch. I don't know why people don't really talk about that fight, about Wallin and Fury. You know, like, I mean, till now, people don't really mention it, man. But reality is, man, you know, that was probably in the top 5 for the worst cuts in the history of boxing. And how Fury managed to get through that fight, man, without a stoppage, man, is unheard of in boxing. And this is not an easy fight for Whyte, man. It's not an easy fight. So I see Whyte either winning by knockout, or I wouldn't be surprised if Wallin cuts him early, man, and beats him on points. I wouldn't be surprised at all, or stoppage. So it's going to be an interesting fight, man. Can Whyte land, or can Wallin does what he does best, man, roughen the guy up, cut him, take him the distance and win. So that's my take anyway, man. Let me know yours, man. It's an interesting fight. It's a fight I'm looking forward to, man. Please subscribe to the channel, man. You know, hit the notification bell. Thanks for tuning in. Shout out to the guy by the name of Mimi. I think that's his name, man. He wanted a shout out. Shout out to you, man. All the best with your channel. Thanks for tuning in, man. Peace. God bless.